What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here. Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. Please head to the link in my description below. Sign up for my newsletter. Get a free graphic novel from me. Better than Watchmen, guaranteed. And also, once you've done that, make sure to pick up the books that are the paid books, because those are the ones that support the channel, support what we're doing here, are creating new indie content, which is awesome for you. Everybody is loving the AI Wars who has read it so far, and if you are interested in comics, I bet you will like it too. So head to Amazon. That link is in the description below. Also, our story of the day comes from Lila Bayok from Watchmen fame. She is the producer slash writer of Watchmen, the HBO show, that is. Another aborted attempt at recreating Alan Moore's graphic novel. Now, every Watchmen anything since its original inception has always ended up in disappointment. The original bring back against Alan Moore's wishes, because he wanted it to be a one-off story. This was always his intention, to have a one-off story that has an end, that has a point to it, and well, DC brought it back anyway. They made a comic book series called Before Watchmen, where they showed earlier versions of the characters from Watchmen, and it really didn't work out very well. Didn't have the right tone, didn't have the right characterizations, didn't have the right story. It's really hard to do prequels as it is, and the prequel craze started by the original Star Wars trilogy really just resulted in a bunch of bad books at the end of the day. And movies. Well, then they made a movie out of it, and the movie really missed the mark. It was pretty bad. And then they made an HBO series out of it, and Lila Bayok here is in charge of it. Well, today she decided to make Watchmen about current year politics rather than about what it actually is about. As we have a statement from Senator Ted Cruz, who was on TV the other day, saying, "Have you noticed how often rabid environmentalists are the bad guys, whether it's Thanos or go to Watchmen? The view of the left is people are a disease." And this is very correct. If you look at the villain Asmodeus, or however you want to pronounce that, I probably pronounced that badly, from Watchmen, he was a crazed psychopath who thought he could bring about utopia by killing a bunch of humans to force everybody under a one-world rule. Thanos was all about killing off a bunch of the population in order to achieve his objective. Environmentalism, as Ted Cruz rightly makes a comparison here, is about lowering the population of the world at this point. And I showed a tweet from a science fiction writer in a video last year about how far they are willing to go. And he went off on this rant that sounded like a villain, much like from Watchmen or from Thanos or whatever, saying that we're going to have to make sacrifices, and we're going to have to get used to the fact that millions of people are going to die or whatever in order to, quote, save the world. It is a psycho rant. It is a Bond villain level of crazed extremism, and that is what Senator Cruz is referring to. Of course, Lila Bayok has trouble reading and has trouble with reading comprehension, so she can't quite understand this. She says, "Hi, Senator Ted Cruz, Watchmen writer-producer here. Literally, what the F are you talking about?" Well, there you go. Literally, and what the F, and doesn't understand what he's talking about because she can't follow a thought process whatsoever. But this goes to make me think something more. Maybe that this Watchmen producer actually didn't read the source material whatsoever. She is acting like she's the creator of this property, like she owns Watchmen, like she is the authority on Watchmen, where really she's not. Alan Moore was the creator slash writer, and if you want to get back to it, we can do a rant about the Charlton heroes that he stole all those concepts from, but that's probably another video. She has no idea about the history here. I guarantee you she barely understands Alan Moore's work. If she can't understand a basic statement by Senator Ted Cruz, well, this is the people that they put in charge of these shows these days. And of course, she goes further, "Get our name out, you thin mouth," right? It really goes to show the level of immaturity, the level of just I guess, low IQ writing that is put into these HBO Watchmen dramas, and that's why the show really doesn't work out. It's not that hard to adapt these things. I really, if I was hired to adapt one of these shows or to continue the comics, if I was hired to write Batman or Spider-Man or whatever, the first thing I'd do is I'd spend weeks going over the material. I would sit and I'd read all the omnibuses. I'd go and try to be true to the original incarnations of the character. I would write down interesting moments so that I could reference them in the work and make sure I stay true to it. I mean, it's not my property after all. It would be somebody else's property, and I would be a steward of it. That would be my thought. But as you can tell, these people don't think they're stewards of other people's properties. They think they own this. They think they're year zero. They think they're creators, even though they are low-quality hacks, just producing their fan fiction based on not even reading or understanding the work. It's very sad to watch, but this is, indicative of the industry. We see it with Star Wars. We see it with Marvel Comics. We see it with DC Comics. And we see it with these terrible adaptations on TV and in film. You'd think it'd be easy to find somebody who just likes the material enough at this point, but that's how the studios roll. They'd rather get their diversity hires. All right, let me know what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. See you soon.